Hi everyone, Marybeth Brush here with eXp Realty with your Monday morning market and real estate update here in the Denver metro area. And I'm joined by Chris Magnotta right now with Guild Mortgage. Chris, thank you so much for joining us right now.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
You know, we're now in the first 2 weeks of April. We are in the thick of COVID here in the Denver metro area and across the country. So I wanted to pull some numbers as of this morning from RE Colorado, which is the Denver Metro's matrix system, our MLS system. So right now in the first 2 weeks of April, 489 homes have been withdrawn from the entire Denver metro market. So nearly 500 homes were taken off the market. Now I wanted to pull also some active listings. So as of this morning in the city, just in the city of Denver, there's only 1,800 active listings on the market. So that's not meaning these homes are on the market. They could have contracts on them that are in negotiation right now. They're just not fully under contract yet. So that's a really low number for Denver, as we know. So a couple more numbers. Aurora has only 699 active units in the entire city of Aurora, only 699 active units. And that includes both single family and condos and townhomes. Lakewood, 215 active units. Littleton, 296 active units in the city of Littleton. Arvada, 212 active units. And Westminster, 103. Like, Chris, what is your first reaction when you hear these numbers?
It's crazy. It's just crazy low. And I mean, obviously it totally makes sense with what people are going through and
Right.
people knowing that, hey, we can't do showings right now. And a lot of sellers who don't want people in their houses. So it totally makes sense. But at the same time, you know that there's a bunch of people out there who want and need to buy houses. People got to have a place to live. People's leases are expiring. People are moving to Colorado like they always are. Maybe not as much right now in this particular moment, but you know, it's kind of crazy. And I think what it does is it sets up the table a little bit for a real frenzy of activity once things do open up.
Absolutely.
Now's normally when people are going crazy, right? And really getting aggressive and buying stuff, and they can't to some degree.
Because this is the spring market. This is when sellers are selling. This is when buyers are buying. This is basically the real estate agent's Christmas time of the year, you know?
Right.
So with these numbers being so low, and like you attested before, you know, open houses, we can't do open houses anymore as real estate agents. We can't do, as of a couple days ago, we can't even do showings anymore, in-person showings. So that's why your business and my business, we're now transitioning over to a virtual business. We are, you know, doing virtual open houses. We are doing what we're doing right now, a Zoom call, via FaceTime showings, virtual showings, virtual tours. So it is still possible for those buyers that have to buy, as you attested to, and for the sellers that maybe they got a job offer in another state and they have to sell right now. Or for those, you know, rental properties that, you know, the landlord decided, you know, now's the right time for me. I have to cash out. And they're putting their homes on the market. So I think you have some experience in this.
Yeah, I do. Funny enough is, of course, this was, I had restrictions basically. I buy and sell a lot of real estate. I've been doing that for about 15 years. I've been buying and selling real estate as an investor. And even the house I currently sit in right now, I actually bought and, well, I should say I went under contract on the property without actually seeing it. So now we're kind of entering into a period of time where that might have to happen. Now, I did it, of course, not because of a COVID restriction. Reason I went under contract on the properties that I went under contract on without seeing it was because of geographical limitations. I couldn't get there quick enough. It was a hot property, and I knew that I just didn't have the ability to get into the property. I had to make an offer to get it under contract. So all the properties I did buy, in 4 in particular, I can think of that I went under contract on without physically seeing the property until really that point of inspection.
Right. Yeah.
And yeah, I think.
And that's
Go
happened.
ahead, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. And that's happened with clients that I've worked with in the past as well. Actually, the first ever deal I did in real estate, due to a geographic restriction, just like you said, they were in another state and they bought a house that came on the market. They saw the pictures, they knew, you know, the dimensions and everything. They're like, this is it. And so we put in an offer, and this was, you know, many, many years ago, but at the same time, there are going to be circumstances. So showing, you know, buying home sight unseen, is it, you know, do people want to do that? No, but due to circumstances, whether work, job, or like you said, geographical restrictions, there's not all the time in the world that they can, get to that house and see it and view it in person, especially with COVID going on right now. And that's why virtual tours, virtual showings, virtual open houses are so imperative for those buyers to either look at the house or, with the inventory as low as it is, these homes are going to keep flying off the market for those buyers that do, need to purchase a home as soon as possible. So, what are the changes in your market for lending, for mortgage? What do you recommend to buyers right now who are maybe hitting the pause button on their home buying search?
Well, I think have your ducks in a row is probably the biggest thing I can think of. So, making sure everything is set up, ready to go with your pre-approvals, making sure if possible, you can get your file through underwriting. So you can even have one extra step done in the process to make your offer more competitive. I feel like knowing the numbers really well and just being able to pounce and really make a move when it comes, because like I said, I think, with the low inventory numbers that you just mentioned, there's a lot of pent-up demand out there. I'm telling you a lot. I mean, I have as many pre-approvals in my system right now as I've ever had. We're getting call after call after call for people wanting to buy a home. So I know, and I study the analytics and the data on incoming purchase applications, and they're strong. So we know that there's a bunch of demand. Yes, it's pent up on hold. We know there's a bunch of demand, and we also know that there's a limited supply. So at some point, when it opens up, I think it's going to be crazy. And so the more prepared a home buyer can be, the better off they are.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great advice there. Any other silver lining that you can give to the buyers and sellers out there right now regarding COVID? I know everything is different right now. We're transitioning to a virtual buying and selling season, but is there any, we all need some good news, right? We all need some good news on these days when it's snowing outside and we can't get out. But what do you think is the good news that's coming up for the latter part of April?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's still going to be an amazing opportunity to buy. I still feel like right now, for sure, interest rates are low. So that's the easy one, right? And the Federal Reserve is committed to keeping interest rates low. And they look like they're going to be low for the foreseeable future. Now, normally I would never say I can predict what interest rates are going to be because it's a market dynamic. But right now it's different. Like the Federal Reserve has basically come out and said, I'm going to write a check for whatever it takes to protect the housing market, is what they said. And indirectly, what they're saying is we're going to keep things super affordable to make sure that we don't have any kind of negative impact, or at least really dramatically reduce the amount of impact that this can have on housing. And so affordability is going to be really, really good. Like it's going to be very cost effective to own, particularly if you're going to start comparing rent versus own. Like it's going to look really good. So there are some limitations. Some of the higher price points are going to have trouble with really large loans. So loans in Denver, particularly over 575, those loans are going to be a little bit tricky. But really, like the main buyers in the Denver area are really going to find themselves with a great opportunity. And I think we're going to run into situations similar to what we've really seen over the last few springs and summers. Is you just got to try and get in before the prices can go up on you, because a lot of people think that they're going to find a good deal, but supply and demand, I think the demand is really high. The supply is limited. Economics 101 says most price points I think are going to be very, very healthy.
And that's why I'm really just urging my buyers that want to still get out there, or maybe they're thinking about putting a pause in their search, to just keep an open mind and to keep looking on their searches, because there are new homes coming on the market every day, but there are also ones being withdrawn. There's ones going under contract. So as much as the mortgage industry is still in a state of change, so is the real estate industry. So Chris, thank you so much. I'll let you go. I know you're super busy, but thank you so much for giving us an update on this Monday morning, April 13th, and we'll talk to you again soon, okay?
All right. Have an awesome day.
You too. Take care.
See ya.